Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I'm streaming some 2D 4X today. That is a 2D 4X video game that I am programming using Godot.net, which is the C# version of Godot. It's open source. Did I already say that? I don't know. These are the 7 test provinces we have. It's a post-apocalyptic strategy game. I was trying to think of another term for it, but that's what it is. And these are the 7 test counties that we have, and takes place in Oregon in these test ones, but it's gonna be North America when we're there. And what we're working on today is I have my list here, and we got the county population. So each person in the county needs to check, and then resources besides food. We already have them using food, so we need them to use other things. And it currently we're gonna have eventually we're gonna want many other things like wood and stuff like that, like wood for their houses and whatnot. But right now we just want them to use what I call remnants, which are like leftover items from the pre-apocalypse times. My thing hasn't posted. It tells me that my stream is working. So I guess I got to check all this crap. It is, and I got to put a hello over here just to make sure that this is working. This happens pretty much every stream. All right, everything is working how we want it. So let's pop open some script here. And I think what we're going to want to do is look at our county script. I should have opened the script before I started streaming, but who cares? It's fine. It only takes 45 seconds to open. Let's see. Gotta get my OBS back up here. All right. And so on the county script, every county does this. And did I put it? I'm gonna put this in here. Or a note in here that why this is here, because I added this yesterday. This is here so that it doesn't subscribe to the clock when the map editor is running. There we go. So this is where we're going to put this. It's under population AI is where I've been putting these things. And I think we'll keep doing that. What are we doing here? Yeah, and these are static, so we just run them directly. So that's what we'll do. We'll keep it in here. And this is a dumb name. I'm going to put another note in here. I'm trying to make better notes on things. This is a dumb name for this method. Okay, so we're gonna need a new method here that is called, and we're finally too. I've been wanting to do this part for a while, and I just keep having other things that need to be done. Let's double check that there isn't. All right. So this is gonna be a public static void. Use. Let's put. Yeah, use other resources. And we'll pass in a county data, which is the data for the county, obviously. And then we'll do this. And I already thought about how I'm going to do this, so I guess I'm kind of jumping the gun here on. We could put this in county data, actually. Should we just do that? Let's see. Let's go back to our county here. So this runs on county, and we're passing in county data. We could just put in... Oh, no, we can't do that because we need to do a for each. So this runs on each county, but we need to do a for each on each. I guess we could put it in county data. Well, how do we run that? Let's look at this here, because we have a county data right here. It's attached to each node has one attached. Each county node. And I've been trying to change around how I do things to make it better. We can put it in here. What else do we got? We got these weird food lists for something, which I can't remember what it is. People eat food. What does this do? People who need to die. Adjust population happiness. So I think what I was doing, oh no, we are doing for each, oh no, that's a different thing. So I was putting in things in population AI when it See, this one goes into people eats food. What does this actually do here, though? It's passing in the county population list. I just want to make sure. I'm trying to, like I said, put these in better spots. In spots where they are supposed to be. It's weird my little post thing didn't work at all. Usually it takes a minute, but not this long. Kill people who need to die. I guess I'll leave it here for now. Maybe this isn't a dumb name. Is there enough food? People are starving. Workday over for population. See, it goes through the whole population here, but we could put this in, like, this one could be in the county because we wouldn't have to pass in the county. We would just run it straight from the county data. Let's actually, since we're writing this, we'll just throw this into the county data and see how it works. Maybe it's not what we want, but maybe it is, and then we'll figure it out. We can move shit around, you know. It's not like this stuff's written in stone. So we'll put it here for now and see how it works. So each one of these counties, basically, this stuff happens at a certain time. So we would put in here, we know the county data, we would run that thing from the county data. You know, we would go county data. What did I just call that thing? Use other. Why do you have a problem with this? What did I just call this thing? I put it in here. We got all sorts of things unsaved. Use other resources. We actually won't need to pass in the county data if I do it this way. Let's see if we can do it this way. It's giving me grief about this. Cannot be used with, oh, we can't use it with instance stuff, huh? Well, maybe that's why these other ones are in population AI. I gotta get my brain warmed up, you know? What happens if we do that, though? And then we go over here. Sometimes it takes, yeah, we can do it that way. I think we'll try it like this, like I said. And we'll see how that works out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So anyways, we'll rename this though, because so the reason I was calling it just use other resources is because we have this population AI in front of it. We'll say county population. Actually, I think I'm gonna rename county population just the population, because there's no other type of population besides county population. So why have the county in front of it at some point? But right now, so we'll do this. So what we're going to have, though, is we're going to have like a list of needs in this county population. And I already thought of how this will work. What we'll do is we'll have, this is getting very convoluted. I need to reorganize this. So we got the days starving, we have the happiness. So we'll have a dictionary here called public collections dictionary, all enums dot county resource type, and then this is going to be their needs. So it's going to be a county resource type, and then I guess it's going to be an int. That will be how much their needs are, between 1 and 100. And then we'll say needs. And then we're going to need to, when we have a county generation, we're going to have to, when we generate the county, we're going to have to put this in here. Oh, we got to fix something though. We need to add this. What is it? Control period. We're going to add this to the constructor. Once again, I still don't quite understand constructors. I just know I need them sometimes, and other times I don't need them. This is too long, so I'm just going to move it down here. I always put like a comma or whatever over here so I know that I'm moving it, or that it continues. It continues somewhere. At some point, this is just going to be a big list of these. And then let's also put this, though, in the, when I say a big list, I mean like where this isn't, like, where this will just be one column of things, not a bunch of different columns and rows and things. So I put that after days starving, and we have a comma there. This thing really didn't like that because I have this, and this needs to be back here. And then we can get rid of this, and then we can go down to our needs here, and this should be under here. We're starting to get a lot of dictionaries. And then we're gonna put in, so this time it's only going to be just remnants that the people want. So we're gonna have in here, we're gonna make a new thing. Where's our, I think it's this 0. And what we could do, actually, what was this, starving or something? Days starving. Happiness, days starving. We'll say days starving equals 0. And then we'll just put that here, days starving. And then that way I know what the hell this is. And then we're going to add in generate needs. I hit something. Then we'll generate this thing. And then we're going to generate needs here. Whoops, I keep hitting a semicolon. And it's just like, I don't actually think we need these semicolons here. Well, I guess we do. And it's just jumping to them. Yes, sorry, there's the else. So then we need to have this in here. We need it to return. We need it to return this. Oh, it's already in there. That's what we needed to return. And you know what we need over here, though? In our county population, we need... I noticed on Sundays it takes me a while to get warmed up. I played some video games. I played that BattleTech game. It's an older game. Man, that game is so good. It shocks me. It's modded. I'm using the Rogue Tech mod. Now, where the fuck did this thing go? You know, I don't have this happening. I don't have it with perks. This says it has a reference. Does it really? 54. I'm just going to get rid of this while I'm here. 54 is right here. This was an idea I had that did not work. I was all stoked on the idea. I was like, oh, that's going to be perfect. And then it did not work. Okay, so I guess I don't... These ones are. It's interestingly enough, I noticed perks is not initialized. These ones all are. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see what happens if I don't initialize this? I feel like I have to, but do we have it initialized down in the constructor or some shit? We don't. Huh. So back to our county population generation here. This should be, you know why? It's because these things are being, there's a new one of these in here. This is why it doesn't need that. So for each one of these, so at the beginning, this is going to be pretty easy at the beginning. But later on, we're going to make this much more complicated. I just want to have a basic need in here. So we're going to go needs.add all enums, county resource type, remnants, 0. So that's it. That's all we're going to add is just this. And that's going to happen to both. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to have no needs. We're just going to pass in null for the heroes. The heroes aren't going to have any needs right now. Let's put that in somewhere so that I don't forget. I mean, I'm going to forget. But let's see here. And we'll put that in like the last thing. Heroes currently have no needs, but eventually they will need. Maybe. You know what? No, we will put it. We will have it in. We'll have the heroes want stuff. Generate needs. These big long. Whoops! I did it again. Where I hit the semicolon. These big long things before methods always throw me off. These things. All right, so now it's going to be at 0 to start, but we'll change that for testing. But right now it's going to be 0. What is this thing? Use other resources. We haven't gotten there yet. Generate needs can be marked static. Really? I don't believe you. No, I guess it isn't using anything outside of this, so that's fine. It's so weird that my little post didn't work. I wonder if it worked. Oh, it did work on... Huh. Weird. Okay. So what the hell am I doing here? We need to now go back to this thing, and we're going to try this. So this is how we're going to do this. So we have something in skill data that is like, it does a check for a skill. And this is how we're kind of going to do needs. And now we could do it, we could have a needs check. Maybe it should be special. The needs check should be a special check. But it's going to be right now exactly the same as a skill check. And it's also going to, this is going to be the learning also is going to be the same. Man, this seems like a lot of code for what this learning is very simple. So let's do this then. I guess it probably should be its own thing. I'm trying to think if maybe we should make the needs. No, I think a dictionary of ints is good enough. But I guess we'll copy this over though, and we'll put it in county population. This thing's gonna be so fucking loaded with shit. Add random. Check for perk. Man. Check needs, check need. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of stuff. We're going to pass in for check need. We're going to pass in all enums. Whoops, county resource type, comma. That's it. That's actually it. And then we're going to, because once it's going to check it against that dictionary. And skill check roll. We'll call this needs roll. Between 1 and 100. If the needs roll is less than needs all enums county resource type dot, that's it. The skill amount can go, because it's just a int there. Okay, I guess that didn't work. We don't have a name on it. Identifier expected. Did I put something else on this? Where the hell is that needs thing? Oh, we need the actual type. But that should be getting passed in here. Why do we have a thing here? Like I said, it's a bool? What? Oh. Let's do void for now. We'll fix it. There's a bunch of things with this going on. Roll check is lower, equal to, or oh, this is the Jesus Christ. I'm face palming myself. Okay, this is brain. There we go. It needs the type. Brain has to get warmed up. So it's gonna check the need, and if it's this is gonna be 0 to start. So if we do this roll and it's less than the need, let's call it need type, resource type. Let's call it resource type. Or we can just call it resource. Let's just call it resource. So it's going to check the needs, and then the resource that it's checking for, which is currently just... oh man, I just thought a different way to do this. So I mean, this is the way this part will work, right? Yeah. So if it's underneath, if you pass basically the check, which let's say right now, it's a 0, so you're going to fail it every time. And if you fail, it needs to do something. It needs to add a number on here, which is what the experience thing. I'm going to do this. Needs, which is greater than this thing. I don't think we're returning anything. Check need. No, this is all wrong. Not all wrong. It just, so what we wanted to do, population uses other resources. Go back to here and put this S in here. So then the first thing we're going to have it do is we're actually, so Man, like I said, on some Sundays, my brain has to get warmed up. I think it's on the Sundays, like once a month, I eat a bunch of ice cream, and I ate a bunch of ice cream last night, and I think it's the days that I scarf down a bunch of ice cream that my brain has to warm up so much the next morning. At least that's my excuse. You gotta have excuse for everything. So this thing, population uses other resources. What we're gonna do in here is this is in the county data. So we're gonna go for each county population in county population list. So this is going to go through every one in this place. And it's going to, we should actually put in a method right here where we pass in a list. This will actually be private void check use other we'll just call it use resources, and then we'll pass in a list of county population and county populations county population list. And then we'll go from here, we'll put this in here, and then we'll go use resources county population list. I don't like that this is the same name. Let's rename this. Users, people using resources. Users. All right, so this is, what's your problem here? Oh, this is a list with notify. List with notify. What did I call this list? List. Oh, it's globals. We're going to have the globals in there. This is a special type of list that I created. Somebody helped me a long time ago in Unity to write it. And I brought it over. So we're going to have this thing go through here, but we also need it to use the people to use resources is there's another list here. That's why we had to do it this way. Heroes and county list. And then there's another list, but I'm going to check what we got here. Armies and county list. We're not going to do the visiting stuff just yet. Dead people don't need to use resources. So then we'll do armies in county list. It's weird that I said in county for these, and this one is just the county population. Anyway, so it's going to hit all three of these, and we probably, once again, we want to use the heroes go first, then the armies, and then the county population. So then this is going to pass in this list, and then we'll do it from here. So we're going to do this 3 times. It's going to do each one of these, and it's going to go county population. What did I call that thing, actually? We're getting there. Check needs. We're going to go check needs. Check for perk, check needs. Check needs is what this should be called, actually. Oh, shut up. And then we're going to have it. We don't need this in here. This is wrong. We're going to go over to here. And we're going to go county population. Man, this thing is really going to... the county population is going to get very bloated. I wonder if I should break it off into something else. And maybe I should use this population AI, because it's going to be filled with shit. So then we're going to go for each, and I never can remember how to do this, so I got to find one. I need a for each with a dictionary in there. Because it's like key value something. One of these probably has it. Is there enough food? No. I guess I could just... No. I was about to say, oh, here's one. No. Look at all this. That's what we're going to be getting to soon, and I'm kind of looking forward to that. Damn it. It's like key value pair, I think is... The fuck is that? For each, here we go. Here we go. I don't know why I'm highlighting this whole thing. I could have just done it an easier way. This is under county population. For each key value pair in needs, then we're going to check this way. Yeah, we don't even need... Cut this. What is your problem with your for each? This needs to be int. And this should be... Oh, I lost my random... It's right here. For each one of these... in needs, which is in this list, we're going to randomly roll, and there should only be one. And if this is lower than the key value pair, then we got value there. So if it's lower than the value, which is the int, which is 0, then we do something else. If it's higher, if it's less than that, it does this, which we'll put this thing. Needs check. We don't know what it's checking. It's not going to tell us what it is checking, which is, I guess I could turn the needs into like a public class. There's only one of them right now. We don't need these returns. Whoops. Because we're not returning anything, we're just checking. And after it's checked this, which is going to fail at the beginning every time, needs checked rolled a blank which is greater than this. Yes. Which is going to be 0. At the beginning, it's going to be 0, but we're going to fuck with that. So if they actually... Oh my god, maybe we don't want this in... Well, let's just go through the whole thing and we can move shit around at the end. So if their need is accepted, they're going to use county resource. We're gonna have to break this up into different stuff. So if there's enough remnants for the person, so we have to do this. I'm like all over the place this morning. Okay. And this needs to be somewhere else. Let's put this actually in a comments like this. Then we're going to do this. I'm going to comment this all in here. Gain uh, 1d4 amount to the need for the next day. So the idea here is that they start out with no needs, and as each day passes, they get like a random roll and their need for the item keeps going up, and then if the random roll that will cause them to use the if they pass the random roll, they'll use the resource. Otherwise, a 1d4 amount will be added to the need, and then it will keep adding each day, and then it resets back to 0. But before we even do this, though, we need to know if there's enough to do it. So, is there enough food? Is what this one is doing. We need to check, is there enough resources, and for them to, I guess what is going to be the most efficient way to do this? So before we check through the whole population, we need to do some math and see if there's enough resources for them to even do it. So let's think about this. If we're only checking remnants right now, because this is going to get more convoluted as we go. And so I want to make it like as simple as possible for this first run. So we're doing just remnants. That's one resource that no one has at the beginning of the game, but I mean, they will when we actually run the game. They'll have a bunch of remnants. That's those are like leftovers from the pre-apocalypse. So we're going to go, if we check, we just say like, hey, there's 10 people here. Is there 10 things available? And if there is, then we go through the resources and we check, or we go through all the people and we check them. Or if there isn't, so let's say there's only one though, it should check. So if there's 10 people in the county, and we check and we say, oh, there's 10 things, now go see if anyone needs this stuff. That would be pretty efficient, because we could skip it if there isn't enough. But if there's one thing in there, we go to the next person. Okay, so this is the way we should do it. So this is what we're going to do. So on this, population uses other resources. What we got to do here is we got to check. Nope. We got to go to this use resource. Use resources. So you got to do a check for the first person. And it checks, we need to check to see if there's enough for the first person. And then the first person it will go to. And if any of these things fail, if there isn't enough for anyone, for the first person that there isn't enough of, it's just going to break out of the for loop and it will be over. That's what we got to do. So we're going to put list at the end of this. So we need to check if there's enough. And I think we have on our banker script, which are actually moving a lot of this stuff elsewhere too. We can check for, see, I used the skill data thing in here. See, I wonder if I should do that the other way, in the other thing, since it's already written. Count everybody in county, increase research amount, count idle, add story events, count county resources of type, count faction resources of type. Count county resources of type. This is returning an int. But that's of type. County resource of type. This is currently unused. Yeah, no shit. Sorry. The reason why this is unused is because we could just check directly against the resource, the county resource, and get the amount. We don't need this. I am pretty sure we don't. I'm gonna leave it for now. Need this. So let's go back. So there's no reason to check that. Once again, we're just doing we're just doing remnants for now, checking against remnants. So back to wherever this thing is. We're to go through this path, this trail of garbage here. Use resources. So we need to make sure that it has one. They're going to use one. But we'll put that at a global. For each county population, if let's pretend that there's two things on the list. Because I want to try to like make my code more prepared for the next step. We currently only having them have one need, which is remnants, but let's say they have a second need so there's going to be two different things. There's going to be food, which they need every day, and then there's going to be everyday needs in random. So I should have done this slightly different. Everyday needs and then occasional needs. And this is an occasional need. So we should probably have set this up better. So food is an everyday need. And I was actually thinking, man, we're going to have to add water into this too. So let's go back to this and put a note on here. This should probably be a check for everyday needs versus BS versus occasional needs. Jesus Christ. Okay, there we go. This is a check for occasional needs. So let's change this. We're going to rename check for occasional county data. I'm just going to call it occasional needs. Occasional needs. Occasional. Now I think I'm spelling occasional wrong. After a while, sometimes when I look at words, they just become gibberish. My spelling abilities are already so shitty. Okay, so this is going to be a county data occasional needs. We're going to go back to this. Occasional needs. Use resources. Use resources. Use resources. No. We'll get to that. We need to check the amount. We need to know is the amount there for what resources they're gonna check. So let's do this. Occasional needs. We're just gonna rename a bunch of shit basically. Check enough resources. No, we can't do it that way. We have to go through each person. We have to go through each person and then bail out if there's enough, basically. Use resources, occasional needs, use resources, that's fine. We go through this list, people using resources list, and then we check for their county population, we check their needs. Okay, so this was kind of working. But then if we don't do a random roll just yet, we go through the first need, and why are you dinging at me here? We go through the first need, and we don't need this open. Speaking of needs, I try to only keep two lines, two rows of things. All right, so it hits the first need. We need to check enough of resource is the first thing we got to do. And then this is, once again though, this is back to the county data. So for each person, we're going to bounce it back. It seems like we should be able to do that here. We should. This should be here. No, but we need it each resource of that person. Jesus Christ. This should be here, I think. And then use resources. This could be like possibly. Okay, then we check enough resources. We don't need to go through the whole thing. That we need it to go through each person individually, and it would just stop when they run out of resources. Except we don't need it to stop. We don't want it to stop. We want to give them a negative. So oh, Jesus Christ, why is this so fucking convoluted? Everything that I do is like much more in depth than I think. Okay. That kind of makes it easier. So for each person, let's just put it all in here for now, and then we'll figure out where it needs to go afterwards. Because it's I'm doing too much bouncing around. So this will go check enough resources. We'll get this out of here. We'll add this. This is going to return a bool though. If check enough resources is equal to true, then we're going to do something. Except get this shit out of here. Come on. I think we need another. No, we don't. We just need this. Then this doesn't exist, so we need to, whoops. We need to create this. I guess you're not going to let me just create this. I'm surprised that it won't. Invert. It's like I suddenly forgot. Oh, I already had it created? Okay. We're going to read, this is going to be a bool. And then, so each population, it's going to go through each population. Possibly use resources. Check if there's enough of the resource. We actually need this, go back to here. We need this in here. This to come over to here. Like I said, we'll bust this out in, this is under county data. We'll kind of change this around. For each one of this in the county populations needs, it's going to check, is there enough first? So then we're going to go over here. So for each person, each resource, is there enough? If there's enough, then we do this roll. For each resource, check enough resources. Bool, enough resource equals false. There is not enough. And then, so for this one, we need to pass in the resource though, that we're key value pair key. And then this needs to have in all enums county resource type called resource type. And then we're going to have, this is still mad because we don't have enough resource here. So check if enough resource, it's passing in the resource that we're getting from this list. Once again, it's only the one, but that's what we're doing. Every time, every next step where I'm like, oh, this next thing is what we got to do. It's like, I'm like, oh, we just need to check if they have enough of this or whatever. It's like 45 steps later. Makes me appreciate games more. Makes me appreciate the games that I play. I had a friend who thinks that he's not very serious. He jokes around about this. That in the United States, instead of national service where you would work in the where you go to the military, when you turn 18, you should have to work in the service industry so that you appreciate the work that people put in who work at McDonald's and stuff, so that you wouldn't be an asshole to the people in the service industry because you had to do it for 2 years or something like that. I always imagine rich people pulling up in their Rolls Royce to get out and go work at McDonald's because it was part of their national service. But anyways, it's kind of the same thing. I'm learning the amount of details everyone has to put into their thing here. Anyways, check enough of resource. That equals false. If what is this list called on here? It's just one. We just have one list. I think it's just called resources. Sure is. If resource type dot amount is greater than globals dot instance dot a thing we have not created yet. So this is where I'm stashing all of my variables that we'll be editing for balance and stuff. County stuff, food to gain happiness, food to so we're gonna have down here public int occasional resource usage amount. I'm going to say it's 1 for now. So then back over to wherever the hell we are. We can save this, even though this probably can go. This probably can go. And then back over to here. Occasional. All right. So if the amount of resources in this county is greater than 1, greater than or equal to 1, then we can do, then it return enough resources equals true. Else, can I just do it this way at home? I think I can just go like this. So if we're going to check, and if the resources amount is greater than an occasional resource usage amount, the reason I don't want to just put a 1 in there is because what happens if I change it to 5? If I want to change it while we're doing the balance. So everything's in globals so that I can go through as we continue along there. So we're going to have this. So if this is true, if there is enough resource, we do this part. Else, reduce the population's happiness. So that's no. Motherfucker. Because they're not actually, we need to check first we need to check if they want it then. So we needed, because they might not even want it this turn. Happiness with an I. This turn, this day. So this day they might not even be checking to see if there's enough. So I don't think there's a way around like skipping people. So first off, we need to see, do they want that shit? Check to see if they want the resource. Then check if there is enough. There's got to be a better way to do this. I guess we'll do it the crappy way, the first way I can think of. So this is going to be first. This needs to be at the top. This needs to be above this. So they're going to do their roll. This is a check to see if they want the resource. So it's going to do a roll. And if their needs is less than or equal to this, see, it's doing this every day. I guess that's fucking, who cares? Once we're going to have to optimize the shit out of stuff later. Check to see if they want the resource. So it's, so it's checking the county population's needs. Every one of their needs, which is currently just one thing, but let's say it's two things. It rolls, they want it. If they want it, check if there's enough resources. If there's enough resources, use resource. If there isn't, we reduce the happiness. Okay, so if they do this roll and this is when they need it, if they don't need it, gain 1d4 amount to the need for the next day. And the idea behind this is as this keeps adding on, their need will grow. And then add 1d4 to the next amount. Use a resource, reduce their happiness. If there's enough, use resource, set need back to 0. Holy shit. So this is how it's going to work. Let's go back through this just to see. Okay. Possibly use the resource. It's going to go through the county population, people use the resource. It's going to check through all of their needs. It's going to check all the first person, all of their needs, does this stuff, which is, does this roll. See, this is the same as a skill check. So I'm wondering if I should just put this, it's exactly the same as a skill check. And I could do it with the county population or with the skill data. Instead of having this in here, we could just do a skill check. I'm going to put a note. This is exactly the same as a skill check. And this is exactly the same. This is exactly the same as an experience gain to a skill. We probably should use the skill data thing here. So let's see here. Let's do this. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to drink some water first, then I'm going to take a quick break. And I will be back in less than 5 minutes. Look at all these on mouse enter can be static things. I used that like 100 times yesterday. Let me pause my music you guys can't hear. Let me put up my break timer. And I will be back in less than 5 minutes. My cat just standing in the doorway like an asshole. Like, come on, gotta go. I gotta go inside. Make up your mind, cat. He loves to do that. He loves to run in front of me and stop moving too. He loves to try to trip me, especially when I'm on stairs. He's basically trying to murder me. Check to see if they want the resource and check if there's enough. Check to see if they want the resource. This is exactly the same as a skill check. Let's use this skill check. Where the fuck was that? It's under county data. Let's use this skill check. We're gonna pass in if we're gonna need a data in here. I was just thinking, hey Lord Mac, how's it going? I was just thinking we could make these skills. The needs could be a skill. It's a weird way to do it. I mean, it isn't that weird. It's exactly that. All right, let's put a note in here. This could be a skill. This, no. Needs could be a skill. We'll put a note over here too. I'm not going to make it an issue. Needs could be a skill. A need could be a skill since we are treating it just like a skill. I'm just going to leave that there though. Just as a reminder to my future self here. Okay, so we just need a new thing here. And then we're going to put in if skill data check, and then we're going to put in the key value pair value, and then we're going to go this equals true. So it's just going to do the skill check. We're not going to know the amount, but we can put in here needs. We can say needs check passed. And then we can go down here and we can say needs check failed. There we go. Failure. Okay, so if they check, we're putting in the key value all right, we're putting in the value here, which will be 0 at the beginning. So they'll always fail that, which is what we want. But we're going to do this part next. Check if there's enough resources, then we need to use the resource. Whew, we're getting there. Actually, let's leave this in here. And we'll just put we'll put a period at the end because I don't know why. I probably mentioned this before, but I heard using periods and or whatever, punctuation in text messages is rude. Now, it's considered rude, and I do it all the time. And I wonder, I have this coworker who's now like my helper, my in-office helper, and I don't think she likes me very much. She's like 20. And I wonder if it's because we don't talk on the phone or anything. I just message her all the time. I wonder if it's because of some stuff like that. Well, also I added work to her plate, which makes sense. Like, why? They didn't ask her either. They just suddenly said she has to do stuff for me. So that's one reason not to like me. Checking out for resources. Use the resource. So then we're going to go, we're in the county data. So we're just going to go resources dot, no, resource key value pair key amount minus equals globals instance what did I call that thing? Occasional resource amount usage, which is 1 right now. Set the need back to 0. So then we're going to go county pop. Fuck you. Fuck you, myself. County population dot needs dot key value pair dot key dot no nothing, no dots about it, equals 0. So this is going to reset their need back to 0. Okay, if we don't have enough resources, let's do a GD print in here. There are enough resources for the person, for the needs of a person, a single individual person. And then if they don't have enough, we need to reduce their happiness, which we have in this county population, I'm pretty sure. We don't need this anymore. I think I have a reduce happiness. Add random happiness. What about get rid of some happiness? You're not in here? Happiness. Adjust population happiness. Where the fuck is this? This is in county data. This is just adding in a single. It's just adding 1. Let's fix this. Where is this add random happiness? How are we doing this? Oh, I just hard coded this into 1 to 4, huh? This is the same as experience gain too. This is the same as an experience gain as well. This would make it so that they could get 0. So this is wrong. We want them to be able to, it'd be 1 through 4. Maybe I wanted it to be 0, but let's make it 1 through 4. And then we're going to put an int in here. And we're going to say max happiness. And we're going to change this to max happiness. And then we're going to go back. We should get a bug somewhere. Yeah. And we're going to put, that was also a 4, which is actually a 3. So we're going to put a 5 in there. And then we're going to go back to here, because I wanted it to be 1d4 for that particular thing. We're going to go back to our county data. This is kind of duplicate code. This is sort of duplicate code. It is almost the same as the county population dot add random happiness. Let's put a capital C on this, I guess. No, it doesn't fucking matter. Okay. We should fix that. I keep thinking about when I come back to this code in 6 months and just me going, oh my God, what the fuck is this? Why did I write it this way? It's terrible. Okay, let's follow this thing down its path of disaster here. Reduce this population's happiness. Well, everything I just did was, they actually should get a happiness too. Uh, use resource, add happiness. And this one is not going to happen that frequently. Um, add random happiness. The max happiness is going to be 1. They're going to get a 1. That's it. So it's going to, the random roll is going to be between 1 and 1. So they'll get 1. So there we go with that. But now we just need to reduce the, so let's do this. Let's go back to our county population here. That's actually not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to you. It's weird. I don't think I can click on this. Oh, I can. Let's set this. We could also change this into like its own thing where we add a bool or something. We'll just do it. We'll do it as its own method. I was going to say, well, we could put a bool that could be remove random happiness, max happiness. This is going to be a negative. And we sure have a lot of these little things around. I'm tempted to put one at the top and just say, fuck it. It will be used forever, but we won't. We'll leave it in here. Lost happiness. Happiness lost. And then happiness gained. Motherfucker. What is going on here? There we go. All right, then we'll go back to this thing. See, we can now get rid of that whole whatever this garbage was. That garbage that I said whatever that shit was earlier. We could get rid of that now because we have this other thing. Remove, and we just want it to be 1. We want it to remove 1, and so random between 1 and 1. So there we go. This part, this is if it's successful. Now we got to do if this is exactly the same as an experience gain check. So let's do this. We have this skill data thing right here. So we can go skill data. It's not going to work though, because the skill data needs to know the skill. No. See, this is what I was talking about. I hate that it does this. It doesn't bring me to the actual skill data. I'm probably pushing the wrong button. Check learning. Yeah, see, we got to pass in a skill data for this. This is why I was saying we could turn those things into skills. It'd be weird, but it would work the same. What do I have now? They're just an int? Maybe I should just do that. Maybe we should rewrite all the code that I've written today. And yesterday. And last week. They work exactly the same as a skill. See, we would just change this to a skill data. We would have, let's see here. I have a skill. The one bummer with that, if we did a skill data, is in my resources here, we have skill data, skills. We would have to have a skill for every need. I suppose, like, which is going to be every resource. I suppose we don't have to have a need for every resource. We only have, let's look at our resources. We only have like 5 resources. And I can see in 3 of those resources are no longer, or not used because they're food. So that's a daily need. And so the daily needs will use food, which aren't a skill. We're not checking in the same way as a skill. So we would have, so in our current situation, we would need remnants and wood, but we're actually only doing testing remnants right now. So we could do a needs skill. It's only 2 right now. And we could also check, like certain stuff might not be needed later. Like certain things might not be needs. I guess I'm trying to think of the best way to do it. Not necessarily the easiest way, but the best way. So this wouldn't work. We wouldn't be able to test this. I think the best way is actually just to make them skill data. Because otherwise, what we could do, the other way we would do is we would just copy all of this code over. Oh, this is putting it in the event log. And that's going to be pretty much every day at the beginning. Their need is going to go up. So this isn't identical. It would be slightly different. If the county is a player, has learned amount, skill amount learned. Every time a skill is used, the amount learned goes up. Oh, this has multiple things in it. This is not. This needs to be broken into 2 different things. This is a weird spot for this. Because this is before anything happens. Look at amount learns down here. Currently has so this is going to be so how does this work? Every time a skill is used, the amount learned goes up. So the amount learned is a okay, so what this is so with skills, every time you use a skill, you get a point into amount learned, and then once amount learned hits a certain level, and I think it's 10 right now, but we could adjust. That can be adjusted, for balance. But let's say it's 10 right now. So once amount learned hits 10, then you do a roll, and you see if you learn something or not. You actually learn something. So amount learned is not the amount that you've learned. This should probably be called something else. This should probably be called like amount until learned or something. In fact, we'll rename that. We'll go to skill data right now and rename that, because why the fuck not, right? Where did my skill data go? It was right over. Oh, I'm in skill data. Jesus Christ. We can just rename it right here. Until. Okay. So then once that's at like 10, then it does this check. This check is what we want it, is basically what we want to do every time for your needs. And this is, so if we go back to our county data, we're doing part of this. No, actually, so we're not doing, we're just going to add on Yeah, this is, so I don't think I'm going to make this a skill data. Let's not do that. We can use that skill check. But we don't need it down here. This is exactly the same as, no, it's not. I thought it was, but it is not. So they failed their needs check. We need to add in their county population dot needs, and then key value pair, value pair key. Why is that a capital? Key value pair key plus equals this some random amount that we haven't done up here. Random equals new. And then we'll go random. We need an int here. Need increase. Jesus Christ. None of these are consistent. These variables. Random.next.1. It's not a dot. And then we need a global over here. This is going to be export public int occasional need increase amounts, and we're going to have it 5. So it will be a 1d4. And where the fuck was I writing this shit? Globals.instance.occasional. And then this is going to go needs increase. And this is going to be right here. Okay. So, what have we done here? Needs increase equals, I think we're going to test this right now. It's going to probably implode. Possibly use, but we'll see here. Now I can get rid of this GD print over there from yesterday. I'm going to do that before I forget. We don't need this every time I do something. Every time my mouse goes over the UI. So right now there's nothing is going to happen. It should all fire off at 1 o'clock. So needs checked failed. But that's all we have in this thing. We had 1,000. Wow, 1,000 things print to the console. So we are remnants is what, there should be no remnants at this point. Because it should have been used. Did we not use the remnant? Neither one of these counties should have a single remnant. Building materials, yes. Remnant, no. So what is the problem? Did we count it wrong? Or oh, you know what? That's not true. At this point, nobody needs anything. That's not going to happen until it goes up. It's got to go up to it. Everyone is dead. Already? That's okay. I think I have some settings for that test. Everyone is dead already. There's no food at all. So these people are running out of food already. How did I test that shit? I had a everyone shouldn't die that quickly either. It's 15 days, and so this would have been their first day. I must have somehow changed it so they started croaking right away. Days until starvation, 15. Until damage from starvation is 15. Um, Starting hit points is 10. Max learning skill. So this should be uh, people shouldn't be dying this quickly. I do remember there was the amount of resources I gave them was different. So, but let's figure out what's going on here. Then we can test this other thing. Why would everyone be dead already? I'm glad I made that flashing green color. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have noticed it. Uh, Everyone is dead. I was looking at this earlier. Oh, this is like that weird food list thing that I also was looking at earlier. Because we needed to break it. If population count is less than 1, it says everyone is dead, and then it bails out. People need to die. For each county, county population 8, whatever. Now that has whatever perishable food. Person eats first, then the food is removed from the list. Something is seriously fucked up. People are starting to starve. They shouldn't die that quickly, is the thing. Um, 8-1, and now the county has 0 fish. I know that I changed one thing so that they would die quicker, but this 15 should maybe if days starving is maybe I put like under their days starving and their county population, I like bump that to 15 or something for the testing. Let's look under county population generation here. I messed with that starving thing earlier today. Days starving equals 0. Remember, it was set as 0, and I changed that. Remember? And I decided to move this to 0 because I wanted this to not. Maybe this is in the wrong place. Happiness, days starving, needs is next. Even if other people are croaking left and right. You know what, though? Um, One of these lists is empty. Um, One of these population lists. How do I get to this? I can't even remember. Not population generation. Days until starving. This says if everyone is dying, if the county population list.count is less than 1, it says everyone is dying. Population eats food. Where are we running that? Because one of the lists is not population eats food. No, the next one. This list is empty. So it's thinking, if the amount of food is greater than this, the population eats food. Else if happiness is added when people eat food. I wonder if you could get the name. I think this is impossible, but let's see. C# get list name. How can I get the name of a list? It's going to be like you can't. What you're asking for is impossible. Okay, so that answers that question. So this is like a false positive. Everyone is dead is a false positive because that list is just empty. But there's a way we can actually test this here. And the way we can test this is, oh, but then we'll have another empty list. That's okay too. What we'll do is we'll turn you into an army leader, and then we'll run this till 1 o'clock, and then we'll look for everyone is dead. Oh no, it still happened. Oh, of course it did, because this is only in one county. This is a lot of everyone is dead though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 everyone's dead. So there's 7 counties. Uh, 7 counties that have people in them. So that's going to take that. So let's do this math here. There's 7 counties that it's going to check. Is there an army in? And there's no armies. Let's do this again, but without making this, trying to fix this one thing. Let's let this roll to 1 o'clock. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so there's 7 counties. Those 7 counties all don't have armies, so they have an empty list. So that's 7. But then there's also a capital, which should have a hero. 1, 2, 3, 4 capitals. So then that's going to leave 3 counties with empty hero lists, which gives us 10. So that's what's going on there. The math works to support my theory. So is there a way? I mean, I just need to change the GD print. Isn't everyone is dead? Seth, how's it going? Everyone is dead. It shouldn't be everyone is dead. Because that's all. I just need to change this so that it doesn't freak me out and think, oh shit, something's going wrong. Whoops. A county population list is empty. Is that what we want? Let's put in here population eating food. Eats food. Okay, then that will be, at least that will tell us what we're really looking at here, not that everyone's dead. Now to the starving thing, I think we're okay. I thought I messed around and made it 2 days, but I must have turned it back to 15 days, because that's what's happening here. What we can do, where's this starving thing? People are starting to starve. That's not very helpful. We need to go to, there's no food at all. Where's this garbage? Happiness something. Happiness. There's no food at all. Something 8, whatever. I want to put in basically this. There's no food at all. Let's do the thing with the squigs. County population. First name. Has starved for days starving. Days. Save. Earlier I was hitting the semicolon all the time, on too often on accident, and now... Alright. This is totally unrelated to what we were working on, but it's better to have these messages somewhat correct. And I'm going to comment on it. We don't need 1,000 messages at 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. here. Okay. So let's put days in here. It's starving for 1 day. That seems right. Yeah, we got 1,000 messages at 1 o'clock. All right, what the fuck were we testing, though? We were testing our county. We're already here. We were testing... Let's go through the whole thing one more time. The county data, it's going to go through occasional needs. I am not a programmer in my day job. I don't think anybody would hire me as a programmer, or if they did, they'd be very disappointed in my quality. But I'm an IT manager, so I'm familiar with IT stuff. What do you do? Possibly use, I was playing BattleTech last night. I think you were talking about making a turn-based RPG, right? I was playing BattleTech last night, and I was just like, why is this turn-based combat so fucking good? And it made me think about like the turn-based RPGs and stuff. Like some of them, the combat gets stale pretty quick in some turn-based RPGs, not all of them. But I think, so like with BattleTech, there's so many different things going on to keep it from getting stale. Like you're modifying your mech, like that's not even in combat. I started a new game with the Rogue Tech mod, and I had a Griffin, which is like a 60-ton mech. And I was like, oh, I start with a Griffin? Great. Well, the thing sucked, and I was like, why is this thing so fucking terrible? And I looked at it, this is after I did a couple of combats with it. I looked at it, and I was like, oh my god, everything in here is primitive crap. So that change to how, like, that influence to the combat is awesome. That like there's these, it's a Griffin, should be good, but then when I look at its parts, so then I started swapping out parts to better parts when I got them. So that like has a huge influence to the turn-based combat. So there's that, and then I have vehicles because the mod has vehicles, so I have like these crappy trucks and stuff that one of them just has like a fire hose and a wrecking ball. Um, and just how they combine all these crazy different features really like turn the turn-based combat into something amazing. And I was thinking about how RPGs should try to kind of harness more of that feel, and how they would do it, I'm not quite sure, because you know, you don't want your paladin to, you know, because you're getting better equipment and stuff for your paladin. I'm just using a paladin as an example, you know, a better shield or whatever, but it's not the same as how it works. And I don't know, there's just something like really good about Battletech. I'm just rambling on here. Um, I have played a ton of XCOM, and I was actually thinking about XCOM as well. We're on the same wavelength here. I was like, well, XCOM has another thing too, where the combat doesn't get that stale. Uh, and I think so different. So this is one of the things I can say about BattleTech is all the different types of missions that you can go on. Where a lot of RPGs, it's always just like you go in, you got to kill the monsters. That's the mission. You know, every combat is you kill the monsters. That's it. Um, there's a game that I can't remember what it's called. I own it, so I think it's fantasy. Is it this one? No, what was the name of that game? I'll never remember what it was called, but so it's an RPG, top-down, turn-based combat. It's based on D&D 3.5, I think. It has everything in place, and it should be awesome, but it's so boring. And I feel every time, like I streamed it a couple of times, and the first hour, it's like, yes, this is awesome. And then you're like, oh, it's just the same crap every turn, or every move. But everything's there, and it's like the game should be. No, it's an indie game. Um, it has like some generic name too. It's like the generic. The game's not like it's well made and everything, and I feel bad that it's boring because they keep working on it too. I forget what it's called, fantasy something. I guess not. Otherwise, it would be here. I can't remember what it's called. But anyways, so yes, XCOM also has like the different, you know, and then you get new equipment, and you're like, oh, I got this guy a grenade launcher that fires fire, and you know, it's interesting how well BattleTech works. Now that I'm done yammering on about BattleTech, obviously it's the modded version too. Like the base version is still good, but the modded version is really really incredible. What were we doing? Possible resource use. County population. We go through everybody in every spot. We do a check of skill. This is kind of pointless. No, we're not going to make it a skill. This is exactly the same as a skill check. That's why we did it. Needs checks is passed if there's enough resources. There are enough resources. So we're not going to hit this need yet. So it says this failed. I don't think we need to blast this here. What we need to do, we do kind of need to blast this. Let's put it like this, though. I want to know how much. We'll just put need increase. I just want to make sure this is working. So this should be 1d4. And then after this, we'll set it so that everyone's ready to like need something and start using it. We don't need this down here. I wonder, is the new Baldur's Gate? I bet you its combat's, because I hear great things about it. I've actually never played it. I bet you its combat has a lot of that, like change so it's not the same thing over and over again. I did watch one of my friends stream it, and I can forget what they were fighting, but I remember watching her and thinking, man, you are dead. Yes, that is another thing that I really, and so actually the one of the reasons, and I've mentioned this before, me and Lord Mac have talked about this. Uh, One of the reasons why I'm have all these like population lists with all their names and stuff is because I want you to. It's because of like games like XCOM and things like that. Because even though this is a strategy game, so the idea was I wanted. So there, when I originally started thinking about this, I was like, I want a strategy game where you can look at every single person who lives there in each county. And then I was like, if you do it on the level of like CK3 or something, there's thousands of people. There's no way a computer can handle all that. So I was like, well, what about if I do it after um, uh, um, pandemic? And this is before this idea came to me before our current pandemic. Um, and then I started thinking about that TV show called Survivors from the 70s, where it's like about 10 people in all of in each group have survived. Um, but the reason is because I want you to start to care about the people, same as you're saying, like they gain experience, they've been around for a long time, and then like if they get wounded or die, you're like fuck, you know. And I feel like that in most strategy games that's not a thing. You know, you don't care. You don't care about anybody. This is working, by the way. So their needs check. You know, what would be a better thing to put in here actually would be this. This would be a better thing to really check to make sure that that's working. Um, I do need to get Baldur's Gate 3. I need to check it out. I hear it's ridiculously long, and I never have the patience to finish long games. But I did, like I said, I did watch my friend getting annihilated. It seemed like she was. Um, well, okay. I don't know what else we can check here. This seems to be working. Yes, I do know what we got to do now. So back to the county population generation where we have this set to 0. We're going to add this in with their need at 100. Let's do 75 actually. It's hard even on the easiest difficulty. You know, I'm a firm believer that if like people enjoy games, I didn't used to be this way. No, we're gonna put 75 in here. Um, that if people enjoy games at an easier difficulty, they should be allowed to. I try to always start it on normal, what the developers envision, but sometimes I'm just like, fuck, dude, this is stressing me out. And actually, I kind of felt like that when I was the first battle I fought in BattleTech with the Rogue Tech, because I just installed the Rogue Tech mod yesterday. The first battle, I was like, holy shit, this is stressing me out. There's no way I can win this battle. It's too hard. But then I was like, well, let me do another battle after this. And I just happened to get like it says it was the easiest battle, you know, but it was actually really hard. Okay, let's see. We had too many things happen. It couldn't do it. Needs check failed. This person rolled above here. Let's fix this happiness stuff because it's filling up my log here. You know what we can do actually is just search for GD print and start. We don't need this sitting here. Needs check failed. This is one of the things we do want to see. We don't need to see this anymore. We'll leave it here just in case we need to test again later. We don't need this. I guess we'll take this out for now. Well, this is a big fat one, so we'll do it this way. And then we'll do the same thing here. And then I'm going to leave this something as seriously fucked up because I think that that's probably an important thing to know about if something is seriously fucked up. And then there's no food at all. I don't think we need to know that right now. We don't need to know that anymore right now. I'm going to leave this in here because I think I kind of want to know when people are dying. I don't need this right now. I don't need this right now. We don't need this right now. This seems like this is, I should be putting like some sort of note in here that says like fail safe or something. I'll leave that one. So needs check, we do want to, because this is what we're looking for. There are enough resources for the needs of a person. Needs check failed. Okay, now let's run this thing and see where we're at. I also in BattleTech picked the Jarn folks. I think it's called Jarn folk. Start. So you know the difficulty level I had like set myself up for like a really hard difficulty level. I always like starting out with tanks. I feel like it's the proper. What's going on with this loyalty stuff? Did I not save all this crap? It's probably not open. Loyalty. Or I missed one. You just have garbage. In the Jarn folk, they just have garbage. Everything they have is garbage. Man, that GD print did not. Okay, this has happened before. Oh, I have this set. Even then. Maybe it's just because I had that. There were spaces in that other one. We're going to need that one soon. It's not going to work right now. Workday over for population. We will leave that one for now. We don't need this one right now, though we are going to this on the list to fix something in there. We're going to need that one soon. This is one of these things that's filling up. It's going, every person is doing that. So we need that one to stop filling our. It's checking for preferred work. We're going to need that soon, but I think we're going to rewrite a small portion of that code. Checking for scavenged food, checking for scrap. It's now called remnants. We need to fix that. Is generating scavenged resources. I kind of want to leave that for a minute. I still feel like I'm not hitting all the GD prints because let's look at this. There is a point. There was a thing where the search stopped working, and I had to rebuild my project or whatever. It's actually happened a couple of times. So I mean, we got 135 just when I run the game. These are all GD prints. See, here's a loyalty one. Maybe I'm not done and it's just... Now I'm back around. It's not going, it's not checking. It says current project. Let's look at current entire solution. This has happened before. And it happened when I was fucking trying to fix a bug once, and I was completely stumped on why the bug was happening. And like it was like my whole 3 hour stream was me trying to fix this one fucking bug. And then right after the stream, I was like, whenever I try to check this one way, and I found the bug, and my search was not getting to that file, and I think it's happening again right now. It seems like that should be a major thing. Loyalty. Whoops. Yeah. Let's turn this off. Because we know that there's a GD print that says loyalty in it. Unless it's like okay, so here's a GD print we never got to. This one too. Yeah, the search isn't working right. Maybe, I mean, it has to be capital. And here's the other one. Yeah, it's not working. It's full of shit, is what it's. Names have been loaded. We don't need that. Yeah, what the fuck, man? It's like, does it think this is in a different project? Those are new. This seems like a major bug that they don't give a shit about. You know, I was talking about this on YouTube with someone about bugs in Joy Forsters. Maybe this is just so convoluted that they can't, it's layers upon layers, that it just happens sometimes. See, we're back to, it says that everything's, let's file, save all. So there should be very few, but like this loyalty adjusted thing. So we're down to 67, but like, look, resource name, faction data attempting to get color. Like these are definitely, has perishable storage. These are not coming up when I'm searching. I think what I had to do, let me see here. Visual Studio search, not showing all results. Find results, not displaying results. This is not. How old is this? 100 years old? It is 100. In computer days, it's 100 years old. Finding files. Fetching feedback item. Not finding text, which is in a file. Happens from run. It's not finding the text I'm searching for, which I know is in a file. Until recently, restarting it helped. Luckily, I discovered this thing. Adding a nonsense word. Running. What? A fix has been released. How long ago is this? This is like a year ago. This is not fixed. This is also the part, you know, I was talking about yesterday about parts of programming that I don't like. Uh, fixing your development environment is as far as I do not like. Updating and fixing um, your development environment is not something that I like to do. Oh yeah, so I remember even doing this look-in thing, and I think the key was I deleted my Visual Studio folder and then recreated it. But let's see if just restarting Visual Studio helps. I am going to take a break here in a second. We're like looking at county or county something. It also could be my computer that's um, adding to this issue. I do this scan now all the time. GD print. See, here's a new one right here. And actually that one I want, except the hour is now 1. It found like one new thing. So it should search through all of the files, even if they're closed. And I don't think it is still. It found one new thing. Maybe it is. Skill is not ready to level up. I think it is finding some, because we don't, oh, that's an event log. We don't necessarily check learning. We don't need that right now. I don't remember why we were checking that anyways. It's not like it was doing anything. It was just printing a log thing. Yeah, so now it's working. I guess I just had to close and open it. We're going to get to this stuff soon. I will leave that one. No food building. Has enough food. These have been building up for a while. It's building something. We don't need that. Doesn't have enough resources. We're about to hit this stuff and go back over this code because it's been changed. How things work has changed since this is counting food. Very soon. When I say that, I mean 4 years. Amount of research done. If I can finish this today, which it doesn't look like I'm. You know, maybe I can finish this resource thing today. That's going to be the next thing that happens is after this resource thing is you press the hero button. For 2D4X generally, I'm going to leave this here. I generally only do it. I like a couple weeks ago, I did stream on a Wednesday for this. I have another channel where I stream video games, and I used to stream on that channel like 5 days a week. But with both, that would be like every day I was streaming, and I started to get burned out. So on the other channel, I've cut it down to like 2 or 3 days a week, and then on this one, I just Saturday and Sunday usually. I don't think we need this or this. Update idle workers. We don't need this. And I have another game that but I haven't worked on it in months. that I stream once in a blue moon called Hex Demon, which is like it's a turn-based. It's not an RPG, but it's turn-based combat with hexes. I am to the part of the game, so I have the bases of the turn-based combat done. It's very, 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 very simple. But that's all done, and like you can move around your guy and stuff, and you can summon demons. That all works at a very, very simple thing. So I moved on to make an overworld map where you would get quests, kind of like in an RPG, but so in the Hex Demon, you're just going. This is also back to the like keep the game from getting stale. You're going just from place to place. You get quests, and the quests are go fuck somebody up, with your demon army, and so there's definitely going to be some of this. The things that we were just talking about with BattleTech and XCOM and all that. But I got to the overworld map part, and I've been working on how the quests work, and I hate it. I hate every second of it. Just hate it. And so every time I'm like, I should work on that, and then I load it up, and I'm like, oh my god, this quest part just sucks. It's not cool yet. I'm hoping at some point it will be cool, but man, I don't know why I was talking about this at the beginning of the stream, like appreciating video games more by having to work on video games, by trying to create a video game. I didn't think that it would be such a pain in the ass to make quests work. So, you have a quest, it pops up, a screen pops up, and it says, here's a quest. Do you want to accept it or not? That's your two options. There's text for the quest. There's a location that you're supposed to go to in the quest. Do you want it or not? You hit no, that's easy. It's done. The quest is gone. Who cares? You hit yes. Well, it's got to make a copy of that quest and put it over in your quest log. Then it's got to move that quest and put it to where its location is. And then when you get over to that location, it needs to know on what step of the quest you're on so that it can tell you the next step of the quest. And then you got to go from there, like from this place to the next spot. And then you get over there, and then that thing has to know, but then your journal has to have updated. And holy cow. Every step, and it's so easy to break. And then I wanted to have like randomly generated locations for the combat, and that adds like a whole new level of easily broken path where like you get somewhere and like it randomly generated a thing, but it doesn't copy to the right place. Oh my god, it's so tedious testing and trying to figure it all out. All right. I am going to take a break here in a second. I just wanted to finish this. There's so many GD prints in here. Holy shit. Okay. Whoops. One day I'm going to just, it's funny too, is I messed around for a while, and then I was like, I must be doing this wrong. There has to be an easier way to do this. So I went through and watched a bunch of tutorials on how to do like quests, and they all were basically what I was doing, and I was like, damn it, I guess I'm doing it somewhat right. Yeah, this is all for debugging, and I've kind of been letting these pile up, and it wasn't a big deal, but like these time ones I want to keep. But yeah, I've let too many of these, and so I just figured I would get rid of them. Just comment them out for now, and what I generally do is if I come back to something that I've commented out and I don't know why it exists, I just delete it later. Yeah, so these probably will all eventually get deleted. Here's the resource one that I was looking at. But yeah, we were getting 1,000 of those console things. Okay, I'm feeling pretty confident we got most of those out of here. So now, and I also think that there's a better way to do debugging than all of those GD print things, but I don't know how. I read something where that's kind of amateurish, I guess. Uh, there's a better way to do it. See, now we only got 21, but let's see what happens when we get to 1 o'clock. Now we have 100. Okay, so I got out of. So their needs check failed. They passed. I don't think this tells us what we need to know, though. Oh, I didn't save this one. What we need to know is actually we can tell another way. Oh, this didn't update though. So it got used. The thing got used. That's I use it obviously constantly. I was reading somewhere, or maybe it was someone in chat. I can't remember, but they were saying that there's built-in tools that as you get better at programming, some of these tools can be used, and I use these every once in a blue moon when I'm really struggling to figure something out. But then also, and I don't have this set up, but you can put like breakpoints in Visual Studio where it will stop when it gets there. It doesn't work on my Visual Studio. I think I have to just set it up, and I haven't. Man, look at all these messages. But I'm going to take a quick break, and I will be back in less than 5 minutes. Let me pause my music that you guys can't hear, and let me turn on my break timer, and I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Whoa, that took way longer than I thought. It's weird how that happens. Time is not constant. It's very strange. Okay. Well, it said there was nothing wrong with my computer, so who knows? Um, so I don't know how else to test this. We have it set for 100. They're using stuff. Let's check that one thing again. I think we need to update the top bar. I thought I set it so that if the resources change, I need to set that some like either an event or something. So this should change to 0 at 1 o'clock. And it didn't. Something flickered though, I think. But if I click it on again, it did get used. The one resource that we had there, the one remnant. So let's figure out why that's not working. So the county data has this information. So the county data has a dictionary with this stuff. Did I turn off my break timer? I did. Sometimes I forget. It's just straight up resources. And I think I have a thing in the top bar control. Yeah, this is it. So I guess I could. There's got to be a better way to do this. I'm trying to think if I could subscribe to an event in each. Well, let's look at something because I do have a list with notify. Godot notify when dictionary is changed. Let's see. It doesn't look like there are signals for when dictionary. So it looks like how old is this? This is 4 years old. With Godot stuff, I usually do past year. When a hot reload happens. What the fuck is a hot reload? Setter's not called when changing value. The solution in my mind would be the add a getter setter. This is, I don't know what they're talking about. I didn't read it, so that's probably part of the problem. Property list changed. Is that a property in a Godot collection? Do I have a Godot collection here? I don't. Let's go to county population. I have something. Needs we can use. It doesn't really matter where I'm at. Sure, needs. Contains key, duplicates. Oh, there's a lot of these. Contains. Order, maximum, select, skip. Oh, they're getting wider. Try to get 2 lists to look up. That's link though. That's all link stuff. You know what else I could do? Actually, it's probably a better idea. Godot dictionary. Dictionary. let's see what it says here. Bind is empty. Doesn't look like it unless I went right past it, which is possible. Is empty. Values, returns a list of values in this dictionary. Size, operator. So it's another way we could do it. Because otherwise, I'm going to have to do that update thing every time, and it will happen a bunch of times. A bunch of times. We could do it at the end, like at this thing. So the county runs decide building improvement, workday over for population. Is there enough occasional needs? This is where I suddenly, this should be up here. Update the top bar with resources used yesterday. That's a thing we haven't done. So I could do this thing right here, but I feel like manually having to put that in all the time is going to cause it would be nicer if I could have it happen just automatically. Just every time a resource is changed, it would fire off a thing. It would have to subscribe every time you clicked on a resource. That still didn't work though. Update expendables. Because it's not counting them. It should, this is bad. Am I using this in other spots? So this is subscribing. This is on the faction level though. Was it doing it at the faction level? Let's see. I don't think it is. I think that's some busted thing. We're all at zeros across that thing. Yeah, it's not. That doesn't work anymore. We don't. The faction thing is a whole different ball game, which we should probably fix. Let's put that on the list of things to fix here. Fix faction level resources. Either have it count all the counties or resources, or just go away when you aren't clicked on a county. This is like a top bar thing, but we'll put it in here anyways. And we'll put it somewhere towards the top here. We'll convert this to an issue. I mean, it's got to be done. We got to figure out how we're going to do that, but this is not. And I'm not going to do, I decided earlier today that I'm not going to do it this way either. Yeah, I'm not going to do it this way. It's going to be faster to make a copy of the list and then subtract them. It's faster and easier, I think, long term. So for the top bar, it doesn't look like I have. I thought I had like a county resource update. Oh, here it is right here. Update top bar with county resources. Remnant, factions, building materials, and food, 0. I wonder why we set it to 0 first. So this is just, I have the wrong thing running over here. See, this is a update. What did it said? Update top bar with county resources. Yeah, no shit. It's in the or it's in the top bar thing. It's in the top bar control. All right, let's see this if this works again. Yeah, this is. There's got to be a way to automate this process so that we can tell. So we don't have to do this every time. Like if it's a fucking thing is, if you have it selected and something changes. Yeah, that worked that time. So the food went away and this went away. So you've eaten all of your food and whatever. And I actually think, I bet you this is in here somewhere. So let's look for this and we'll take it out of there. Here it is. Add story. No. See, like, look at all of these things that I'm having to do this in. You know, we can take this out of here now that I know how this thing works better. Where are you? Now that I understand how this works, I think we can take that out. Now that's right. We don't have it in. See, this is just in the add resource to county. You know what? You know what? Where is this at? This is in the banker. Where was I adding that resource? I was subtracting a resource. Do we have remove resource from county? Because that sure would make my life easier if this was resource from county. We don't. What we should do, man, these are both. This is what we should do. You just gotta fix it, right? Whenever I see something wrong, I just gotta fix it. We need to use, when we do this, it's right here. We need to not do stuff like this anymore. This is in county data, so we might as well. Do I have this on? Where was that? It was the banker. I think I said at some point we're probably going to get rid of this banker. Whoops. I'm just going to copy this. We're going to put this in county data. And we're going to say, this is in the wrong spot here. This needs to go here. Remove resource from county data. From county, but see, we don't need this in here if we put it in the county data. Because we're in the county data. We don't need this thing here either. It's just going to be resource, county data resource type. See, this is that one guy. It's blowing my mind how much that one guy changed. Okay, so here's where we would use that one thing though that I was like, oh, we don't need that county data. This is in county node. Oh, did I get rid of the county node? Because I was like, I don't think we need that shit. No, it's still there. County data doesn't exist. No, it doesn't. You're right. This is a static one, so it can't be static. That's okay. And this is going to be minus the amount. Okay, so in the county data, we'll just use this remove thing instead of the... Yeah, I gotta stop doing that shit. And then it will just update it every time we do that. I wonder... I'm wondering if that's kind of going to be a problem because it's going to be hitting a couple of things. It's going to be updating it regularly. When I say regularly, I mean constantly. Uh, in this, you wouldn't be able to notice as a human, but it might be enough to like slow down the game. Remove. We'll fix this, but do the key, and then we're going to put this in here, and then we're going to go end. I don't know what I hit, but it wasn't the right end. Where the fuck did I go to here? It's right here. And then we're going to rename this because it says remove resources from county. We're in the county data, but that should be fine. But see, this is where I'm worried about though, that it's going to be updated. So because this runs, it's going to update the top bar. Every person that eats or uses a resource. And that can happen a lot. So every person that uses a resource in the county that you're clicked on, though, it doesn't give a shit if it's outside the county. In fact, let's double check this. And if this says, yeah, this only happens. This part only happens if in there. So it could happen 10 times in a row, I guess, in the current iteration. So let's click on this thing. We have the right stuff. Let's let this run, and poof, everything's gone. All right, so that works. We do need to deal with this top thing, and there's something else we need to deal with too. How much time do I got? Like 20 minutes? We might be able to deal with this. The other thing we need to add up, which I guess isn't, because I decided to do it a different way. Let's put this, let's double check what we got on our list, because I want to do it a different way. This is now done though. Close issue, and I don't think I put a benefit from passing a skill check. I thought I already checked that, and I did. Idle workers isn't updated when people are scavenging. That's a whole other issue. That's the issue that caused all this. If the counting proof is going to be done, then the next activity should be idle. We don't have next activities. I swear I've closed this like 7 times. We don't use next activities anymore. All right, we only have like 10 of these things. Every time I get like 3 done, though, I add 5 more. So, I mean, this works. Let's go through these messages, though, I guess. Invalid or missing target. Get it out of here. Unnecessary enough resources. That's not what it's talking about. This needs to have an else here. Is what that's saying. Unnecessary assignment of value to enough resources. What if I do this? This is what, I don't know what the fuck its problem is here, so I'm just going to do this like this. And then it will shut up. Remove unused parameter county. Whereas the set initial max storage. We never use the county. How does it know what county it's doing it in? We're passing in the county. We were using the county down here, but we aren't. Resource, max storage. How am I using set initial, copy and assign resources? We're putting in the county here. How am I using this without putting a county in here? It's going through each resource in the county data resource list. There we go. That's why. The resource list that's passing in is from the county, is at the county level. Unassigned, unnecessary assignment of research. Oh, these are the two that I'm not on. Maybe I should just comment this shit out so that it shuts up. There we go. Comment that out. Shut up. Next where? This is all going to go away. This sets their current activity, then checks to see if it's... So we're going to be getting to this very soon, and we probably could just comment. I don't know. Let's leave that one. And can be marked static. We're calling this from all over the place. Public static void, but what's going to happen? We're calling this from a signal from all over the place. Is this going to cause the signal to break? Let's see. I don't know if that's how signals work. Like if a signal can call the static thing or what. I don't know. We're going to find out here. We're not getting any bugs, but I guess we're not testing it very well either. We'll put this. It only gives us a hard... Oh. It doesn't... Okay, so it only gives us a hard time about this when this GD print is available. Okay, so let's tell this thing to shut up. Let's go into the ignore. Go away. Go away. Public static is gone. Did I save it? I did. Let's go to this instance. Why isn't it mouse over UI? Player in, where do we, spawn token button. This is a whole, how did we get over to here? Was this commented out? I think this was commented out and I just uncommented it. Yeah, it doesn't have that. It's called stop click through or some shit. Yeah, it's right here. We'll do something else then here. We'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of this. And we'll static this after all. What is this one? Spawn token. Guess we're going to have to spawn a token here to check if this works. Whoops. Those messages always drive me crazy. Man, I can't believe it's Sunday already. Spawn you. And we don't have a thing there. Man, that was a fucking with those things was insane. Does not access update top bar with county. So with this, I think what we can do, this is in instance data. Look at them all coming. So with this, I think we can just do this then. Is this really going to work though? Let's look at this. The fuck is this thing? Here it is. I wonder why we're setting this also back to 0. You know what's even more insane about setting this back to 0? Is we're setting the actual faction stuff back to 0. This is crazy. This is crazy. Oh, why is this here and like this? So what happens sometimes when I do this is later on I'll fuck with this and it will break the whole game, and then I'll put a comment in why this is like this. I'm not going to do that right now though. But back to this instance here. Just want to double check wherever this went. So it is I mean, I see that it wants that as 0 so that it shouldn't be adding it to them though. Whatever. We'll leave it there. Yeah, I guess this can just be like this. We don't need the instance of it. We just need a thing. We just needed to call. We don't give a shit about the instance. Do we? I'm like double. I don't know. I don't understand the static thing well enough yet. I will eventually. Count these faction things and it updates the players stuff. What was that before? Yeah. And then we have one more. Then let's run this and see what happens. I guess, yeah, it's running like a static version, but how does it know what things I dragged and dropped into the top? I mean, it works, so there we go. What are that one we're doing? Daily research game. This is like a nothing. Are we using this? We aren't using this yet. This will be used soon, though. There's 2 unused things there. And then what is this? Work, check construction complete is not used. Okay, so those are all for the next step. I don't know what I can get done in 10 minutes. Probably nothing. If they are scavenging, they should check to see if there's other work. Do we want it? Okay. You know what we can do? This shouldn't take 10 minutes. What we'll do... So this is my new idea here. For the county, the resources. So I was going to keep a collection of resources used yesterday, but I think it's going to actually be easier if we don't need a public one. I mean, I guess we can put an export on here just for the fuck of it. Godot collections dot dictionary. It's the same thing. It's this exact same thing. We'll just copy this and we'll put this here. We'll get rid of this and we'll get rid of that and we'll get rid of that. And this is going to be yesterday's resources. And then what we're going to do is have all this broken crap. This is just because this is we're not going to do it this way. Well, we might do it this way, but we can just comment this out temporarily. Actually, we can just rename this to, wait, what are we doing? Oh no, this isn't going to work. Not that way. We're going to do something differently here. But all I want to try to do is get it to copy, not try to do. Add resources to resources used yesterday. All right, so this is the same spot. Where are we doing this? Update resources. So this would be another one. We don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. Save that. We go to in county here. When it's going through the counties, every county at the beginning of hour 1 will make a copy of the thing from the day before. So what we'll do instead is we'll say, where is this? This is in county. We'll do it in county data. So we'll go like county data dot copy resources to yesterday. Is this gonna work? It is, but it's not gonna work here. So what we're gonna do is we'll have it at the end of at the very day. Copy all of the resources. Basically, make a copy of the resource list for yesterday, and then at the beginning of this, wait, got to think when this happens, and then we'll put that in. Then I'll call it a day. We're not going to actually write the code for it, but we could. I don't know. I got 7 minutes, 6 minutes. So how is this going to work? We have the resources at the beginning of the day. At what point do we make a copy? In the resources at the beginning of the day from yesterday, and then a bunch of shit. This is all the shit that's happening to the resources. So we make a copy at the beginning of this, and then at the end of this, we do the math to subtract the different amounts from each other, and we update the counties thing. No. Other things could happen during the day, just in case. So at the beginning of, before anything happens for that day, so this is like the end of the day right here. So we're going to do that. We're going to make, at the beginning of this day, we make a copy of what happened the day before. And then, whoops, then we'll just use that data. I'm going to put a little note on here. We will use this data to update the numbers on the top bar all day. So anything that happens for the rest of the day will be used to update those numbers. We'll have to have a thing that says like, It will have to be this fucking update top bar with county resources. It will have to be in here. Update resources used yesterday. This should be inside update top bar with county resources. That way, anytime we update the top bar, man, it really would be better if we could automate this. That way, anytime we update the top bar, we update the numbers. How much used yesterday used yesterday numbers. So let's think about this though. Copy resources to used yesterday. Copy resources to yesterday. I think that's in the right spot. Update the top bar with county does not contain a def. Yeah, we're gonna add that here, buddy. You know, I think that's the first time I've ever generated a method inside a different script. Pretty sure that's the first. I don't know where it is. It's probably at the bottom somewhere. You know what I could have done? You know what I could have done here was, where was that thing? Just clicked through to it. Yeah, put it at the bottom. So I think what we can do here, though, is we just go, we need to duplicate the list. Yesterday's resources equals resources duplicate. Does that work? Returns a copy of the dictionary. If deep is true, a deep copy is performed. All nested arrays and dictionaries are duplicated and will not be shared with the original. If false, a shallow copy is made and references to the original nested arrays and dictionaries are kept so that no, we don't. We want it to be its own thing. Deep equals a deep copy. I think we want this to be true. Do I just plop true in here? And then we'd say this is a deep copy. I'm really trying to up my comments game. If you've noticed, like I'm like commenting like every fucking line because it's just too confusing. Later, I'm like, what is this true? And then I have to like stare at this and figure out what's going on. Okay, so then we would have a copy of the resources from the day before. And then the rest of the day is going to... I feel like this is like we need to do a day before that. So at the end of, like, imagine this is let's imagine, I'm going to call this a day in any second in real life. I'm calling it a day. So imagine this in real life. You have $10. At the end of the day, you have $10. You write that down on your sheet of paper, and then the next day follows. Everything you spend is taken into account. And at the end of the day, once again, you have $7. You put the $7 in there and you subtract it. And so that number is going to be the amount that you used the day before. So at this point, we want this to say above this, though, We don't want it to update throughout the day. We don't want it to update throughout the day. We want it to only update once a day. So here we would do subtract resources from, we would just put this up here. I don't think it should be inside that. I was thinking we update it all the time, but no, I think it's just, this should be here. And this should, so that wouldn't be touched all day. And then in the morning, so it would make a new copy and you would do the same thing every day. So what's going to happen is the first time we run this at 1 a.m., it's going to implode because there's going to be nothing to copy. The first time we run this at 1 a.m., it will not work. Well, the whole thing isn't going to work, so we don't need this shit in here. Okay, so for tomorrow or whatever, next Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, make a copy of the, we'll do this first, and that should make, we're gonna update then. This number is what I'm talking about. These zeros, even though we need them to be in the parentheses or whatever the fuck those things are called. Because we want to know how much you used or gained the day before. Because that will help you plan your existence. So if you used a negative 70 the day before, you know, you're gonna know that there's something probably going wrong. But if you gained a net 5, then you're like, okay, well, we actually are doing okay, money or wise or whatever, and it will do that every day. So you'll have like a full day. Yeah, I think that's the right order. Let's stop this. Let's stop this. Let's push this code. What are we doing? Rewriting population, AI, bank, and work. We're almost to the, okay, I would think we're 50% done with this branch, and then we'll merge it. 50% done. There was a lot of changes on this. What did I do? Population now uses needs, which are resources. So the reason why we had to do the needs, we didn't have to. We could have kicked it down the road. But the reason I wanted to do the needs is so that there's a need for you to build resources and buildings and shit. Like if you just don't have any needs for anything, there's got to be something that's using your resources, even if it's going to be a little bit at the beginning of the game. And that at the beginning of the game, you're going to start with kind of like a lot of remnants and a lot of food. And that will give you time to build up your economy and start like improving the economy. So that, but I wanted it so that something was using some needs, and it doesn't, it's not like a lot of stuff, or even, it's very limited at this point, but I needed something to test it. I push this shit? Yeah. All right. That is it for me. Thank you guys for joining me. Seth, good talking with you. I will talk to you guys next time. Have a great rest of your, I was going to say day, but some people it's night, so existence.